Drinking with Authors may contain adult content. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of Drinking with Authors. I am your host, author Nick Savage. It helps when you have Drinking with Authors to have more than one author. Otherwise, it's just Drinking with Author. Today's episode, as all episodes, are brought to you by Four Horsemen Publications. Go check them out at fourhorsemenpublications.com. And there's some cool authors there, myself included. But an author who's not with Four Horsemen Publications, but still worthy of being on the show and being interviewed and checking out. We have Charlotte Chaos with us today. So Charlotte Chaos, I would love to welcome you to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
First off, for everyone, because Charlotte is doing sober fun time, which is fine. She's allowed to. I am drinking Guinness Extra Stout. And for anyone who's listening overseas, I apologize. It's out of the bottle because I didn't have it available in cans when I bought it, but it was there and I wanted to try it. It's pretty delicious. That being said, I just turned back to the camera and there is a beautiful kitty cat on the screen.
This is Pistachio.
Pistachio.
He is half Maine Coon, half little tiny black short-haired cat. Not sure, but he is one of four. We have four.
And Pistachio, for anyone wondering, is not green. He is kind of a tuxedo.
Yeah, he's a little tuxie. His brother also is with us, and we call them the Tuxie Twat Twins.
Because they're cats, and cats can be dicks. I'm assuming.
Absolutely, 100%. This one looks at me dead in the eye and bats stuff off counters.
See, our cats don't do that, but they have other ways to protest that I'm not going to get into here. But I love cats. Cats are wonderful, but they can be dicks.
Yeah, he is. And he's also my little shadow during the day. So as you can see. Yeah,
he's got to be with mommy right now. I understand completely. So it's going to be a three people on this right here. Though he doesn't do much writing, I assume.
No, he doesn't, but he is actually in the books.
He is in the books. And those books we're talking about today are Death Defiant Volume 1 and 2, which from everything I've been able to read about it and stuff, because I do not get a chance to read the books before I get half an hour to research and figure out what I can about these authors. That way it makes the interviews far more fun and far less professional. Yeah, it's like this podcast I've decided is like the podcast version of what Whose Line Is It Anyways was to game shows. Everything's made up and professionalism doesn't matter.
That was an awesome show, though. So I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Thank you. Death Defiant Volume 1 and 2, from what I can understand, it's a modern revisionist take on the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, where it's really like three horsemen and one horsewoman.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to drink my beer, and you're going to tell us everything you want to about that without too many spoilers.
Okay. So Volume 1 centers around Amara, who is the horsewoman. She doesn't know who or what she is, so she's like been perpetually sick her entire life. And then one day she's vomiting in a grocery store, of all places, and one of the guys touches her back asking if she's okay because he works there, and all of a sudden her symptoms go away. Right, so cue all of the boys entering. We've got the typical asshole who's a grumpy sunshine type vibe with her, doesn't like her, doesn't want to like her, all of that. You've got the stoic one who's, the calm one until he's not. And then you have a golden retriever psychopath who is going to smile, tell you you're lovely, and then hang your intestines around your neck. So a kind of a different vibe with all of them, and kind of like the first book focuses on their emotional bonding because the second book really tests it. So you're going to see how she interacts with each man differently and how they interact with her and what it brings out in them, because while they... No.
The cat really needs your attention right now.
Right. He hasn't wanted anything all day, and this is what I get. Are you a baby? And they seem cookie cutter at first, right? You think like, okay, it's just the grumpy one, but there's more to them. And I start revealing that in layers, that there's more to these guys. There's twists you don't see coming. And the catch here is they all kind of know who they are already, and she had no clue who she was. So they're trying to figure out what makes her different, because even after she gets kind of enmeshed in with them, there's still something that's not quite right. Like there's still a glitch going on. So at the end of book 1, they decide to go to hell and try to get some answers. So then book 2 does feature hell, and they go, it's loosely based on Dante's Inferno, and they go through the hell circles, but like think everything is weird, like unhinged. So the river Styx, there's that ferry boat that goes down it, the Chiron. Yeah. Okay, well, it's a cruise ship with a demonic after party 24/7 with human head football.
Sounds like it could also be a good horror convention in real life. Just have a cruise ship horror convention.
I mean, that's kind of what it is. And then in like Gluttony, there's a giant eating contest, but everything's very weird there. And you get 2 of the most loved characters that I have ended up being side characters, but they get their own moments in volume 2 are Hans von Schatten, who is our German Grim Reaper. He is 6'6", and he wears 6-inch pleather heels. There's a 666 joke in there somewhere.
Yeah. Get it? Yeah.
And he rides Senor Sparkles, who is a unicorn.
Okay.
Hans is very flamboyant. He knits scarves. He plays the accordion. He sings. And Reapers obviously don't typically ride unicorns, so there is a backstory there. But he is the only Reaper to ever have defeated Lucifer. And so you kind of hear about that a little bit in book 2. But you also get more of him and his backstory as well. And in book 1, while this guy is still here, there are some Hellcats.
Hellcat, and they are tuxedo Maine Coon mixes.
They are loosely based on my cats. So it's very chaotic. It feels like it doesn't work together at first. It feels kind of disjointed, and then it kind of settles into its rhythm, and that is on purpose.
It is on purpose.
Yeah, it's supposed to kind of be jarring and not make sense until it does. So don't go in thinking everything is going to make sense, because even at the end of book 2, there's still questions.
So you have slow burns within the book and within the series, then, is really what it sounds like.
Well, no, because they're kind of instant in book 1. Like the physical stuff is instant. There's some really killer attraction that goes on.
I just mean with some of the arcs and some of the questions that you leave. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definite stuff that's still going into book 3 that is from book 1.
And that keeps the readers coming back. Now, you do something I read in one of the reviews, that you do something that I do. And I both think that what we do is both a fun thing that, keeps the readers coming back, but can also be seen as a cheap trick to keep the readers coming back. So I both love it and hate it. And that is the cliffhanger.
So I wasn't originally going to do one. I actually had book 1 contracted on a digital platform, and my contract was ending right about the time, close to the time it was published, because it was published a month later. So that was the only reason there was a cliffhanger on that, was because I had to cut it off at some point. And if I kept going, but yes. Book 2 doesn't have it's not as much of a cliffhanger as is like a slope, like sort of a slope. Like either they can continue on or they can leave it as it is, but there is going to be a 3rd installment, because if they go to hell, they have to go to heaven. Do they have to go to heaven? Yeah, heaven needs some chaos.
And that right there is the tagline to your book. Heaven needs some chaos.
Heaven needs a lot more than chaos, but yes. They're gonna bring it. Oh, it's been fun to write. And actually in about a month, I have a co-author, MZ Pack, who just dropped her first book, Becoming Lilith the One, which is a dark paranormal that is wonderful, but very dark. And she and I co-wrote Stories from Hell, Heaven, and Somewhere in Between together, which is the next installment in the Death Defiant universe. So you're going to get some of the prequels, questions answered about the demons, about how Hans and Senior Sparkles met and things like that. So that's going to be coming out in about a month or so. And then volume 3, hopefully sometime in, the next 5 years.
And for anyone listening, a month or so is about a month from today's date of recording, which is, June 3rd. I had to look it up. That's why I was talking with that sentence. And because I don't know what day it is at any time. I live off the alarms on my phone. Yeah. It's different. You have kids. You have to be able to get them to school. If I had kids, it'd be like, oh, today's not a school day. Well, you walk home.
He's out of school. He's out of school.
He's out of school. So I don't even know. It's summertime already. But so a month from now will be about July 3rd-ish, give or take, because I don't know when these air. That's all up to the producer, and that is not me. I'm just the sultry voice that comes on here and says, oh, yeah.
The pretty face.
I'm a player named Gus. And if you don't get that reference, go watch Psych. So people don't understand that the TV show Psych is one of the 10 best 90 shows ever. And people are like, what's that nowadays? I'm like, oh my God, you live under a rock.
We watched it. Loved it.
Yes.
Loved it.
And it is fantastic. Now, no, don't get me wrong. Sean is a horrible person. And probably like my 4th favorite character in the show, because Gus and Lassie are the 2 best in the show, but that's not why we're here.
No, but I agree.
I'm like, I could talk about Psych for hours.
For what that's worth, I agree.
Yeah. Are your characters now, okay, your characters are 4 horsemen, iterations of the 4 horsemen.
Mm-hmm.
Are they horrible people besides having to be fulfilling their fate, destiny of being the 4 horsemen? Are any of them redeeming?
Yeah. I have a very kind of clear-ish line between the horseman side and the human side, but some of them are just not, I don't want to say irredeemable, but they're just not nice people. Not all of them, but they are generally not dark. They're more morally questionable. One of them's an asshole, but he's just an asshole. He's not irredeemable. Yeah.
It's okay. Morally questionable characters are some romance readers' favorite tropes.
Even the woman is morally questionable.
And I honestly think that when characters are morally questionable, at least to a certain degree, it makes them more realistic. And I'm not saying that human beings by nature are all morally questionable.
Most of us are.
But we're all flawed to a certain degree.
And that's what it is I can't write perfect characters because I don't know what that would look like. Because what's perfect for one person is not going to be perfect for the next. So we're writing characters that have flaws. And part of that, when you write a character, and this, is the emotions that go into that flaw and then how that interplays with the other characters in the cast and what moves the plot forward. So we're going to write in some flaws. We're going to write in some trauma. We're going to write in some weird shit. And it's just going to do what it does.
Because, and I'm going to try and make my thoughts cohesive now. I've had a quarter of a beer. I'm schwasty. No, I'm kidding. No, the 4 horsemen have their objective, and their objective is to sow death in whatever form, however you do it in the book, because that's what they do. Is they're bringers of, doom, portents of doom. But that is their job, and no villain in real life sits around twirling his mustache, going, "What evil can I sow?" What they do that others perceive as evil, they perceive as something good, or something at least not good, but something worthwhile doing. An extreme example is what's going on in Gaza. Staying away from politics for the rest of this, we understand that what Israel's doing to Palestine, they think is justifiable, and vice versa. So they don't paint themselves as the bad people, though the people they're acting against do. So my question for you is, how do you make the characters not seem like caricatures of villains and more realistic, you know what I'm saying, in terms of having to do what they need to do and still being
kind of evilish? Well, yeah. They're not evil entities. So without spoiling too much, it's easy to blame evil on people that didn't write the history.
Say that again for those in the back. It is
easy to blame or label somebody or something as evil if they didn't write the history.
Interesting. But it's also very easy to label them as evil if they did write the history.
Right. So why are they evil? Why do we view them as evil? Why is this a bad thing? So that's that. I do play on some of that good and evil lore within the book as far as the questioning of it. And that maybe evil isn't necessarily evil and maybe good isn't necessarily good. And I can't spoil too much, but there is more about that at the end of book 2 as well that's involved in that.
So when you were writing the Four Horsemen, of course, it's time, death, pestilence, and famine. And some people take out time for war, I believe. So it'd be war, death, pestilence.
Yeah, it's war or conquest. So I have war. So it's war, pestilence, famine, and death.
Okay. War, pestilence. You don't do time, you do war.
No,
that's what it was.
Time is also because you never have enough of it.
Yeah, no. I mean, it depends on where you go in history, or
right.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, if they listen to the music I listen to, their first introduction to the Four Horsemen is a Metallica song. So they learn time, death, pestilence, and famine instead of war. But war is definitely historically one of them. So you choose war, and each of the 4 people then is representative thereof without giving away who's who.
Yes. And they each have a counterpart that's like in their head. So get out of my Coke. Oh my God. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
There he goes. Cats. Like just hashtag cats.
Hashtag, hold on. Let's put a pin in the thing about the Four Horsemen. Let's talk about cats for a moment, because your cat's trying to drink your Coke.
Yes.
Our cats will attack us for certain desserts. Not like literally attack us, but like get up in our face and try and take food.
Yes, this one does that. Ice cream. If he hears the spoon scrape the bowl.
Ice cream.
He is on me.
See, one of my cats, I don't know if you know what pizzelles are. They're like this Italian, it's basically like a waffle cone that's flat and covered in powdered sugar. But if you buy it from the store, there's no powdered sugar on them. But it's basically a flat waffle cone that's like vanilla flavored or anise flavored. And when I buy boxes, like I'll buy a box of them and I'll eat them, he will get and try and take them. And then my other cat has started liking frosting.
Like cake frosting?
Yeah, buttercream frosting. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, like the strangest shit. And they're not supposed to eat lots, you know what I'm saying? Like, because everything's bad for cats. If you Google it, I'm surprised cats exist. With everything on the internet, it's bad for, cats can't have too much water. It's bad for their kidneys. Can't have strawberries. It clogs their kidneys. Can't have this. It's toxic. Can't have this. I'm just like, dude, what can cats eat? They would be dead in the wild.
Right. I just let them eat what they want. And this one down here, pistachio, ice cream, any kind of drink he wants in. We have to keep our drinks by us, or we have to put them where he can't get to them because he will knock them over to get what's in the cup. He also likes carrots. We have a little fat one. I'm not even kidding you. This cat is huge. He's 23 pounds. He's long haired. He's the youngest of the bunch. And he will sit by my husband and do his airplane ears flat and beg for whatever he's eating. Chicken obviously is a big one for all of them. And then Chaplin, who's Pistachio's brother, likes fruit. I haven't tested him with strawberries for a minute, but last time I did, he liked strawberries. We did the cucumber test with them, where you're supposed to put it and see if they get terrified.
Yeah.
Yeah, they licked it.
Nice.
Nobody cared.
No.
Nobody cared.
I don't think our cats would. We've never tried the cucumber thing. I know strawberries are bad for them because the seeds are tiny enough they can actually clog their kidneys and stuff, and it can cause some renal issues. But I'm not one to judge if your cat likes strawberries.
He hasn't had one for a while. I think the last thing he ate was a grape.
My cat's not supposed to eat plastic bags, but he tries.
So ours dig in our plastic bags and make a nest. They don't eat them. But
he tries to eat them. It's just. He like chews on them and like gnaws at them, but he also likes straws. So to him, it's just the same flavor. So he just.
But it's just a different.
Yeah.
But why?
No.
Why do we like the flavor of plastic? That's the question here.
Because they're cats and they eat cat food and lick themselves in places that finish that sentence with how people will. They're cats and they do what they do. But in your book, you have Hellcats.
Hellcats, yes.
I know where they came from. They came from your cats.
Yes.
But why Hellcats? Why not Hellhounds?
Too typical.
Too typical. That's the cruise ship instead of the
Yes.
ferryman.
When was the last time you read a book with Hellcats? You're expecting Hellhounds. There's also a Hell Squirrel.
Hell Squirrel.
Yes, Hell Squirrel.
Is its name Chiquita?
So, funny story about Chiquita. I'm actually friends with a squirrel out front, and I feed her from my hand, and her name's Chiquita. That's what I call her.
She didn't tell you her name was Chiquita, did she?
No,
Okay.
she did not. But I call her Chiquita because she always seems to be pregnant because squirrels. And she comes up to me. She comes when I call her, and she eats peanuts out of my hand. I have videos of her on my Facebook.
And she just and you're not worried about like rabies or nothing from her.
No,
she doesn't bite.
No, she lets me pet her little head and her tail.
And then she runs away with some peanuts in her mouth.
She'll sit there and eat.
Oh, she doesn't like stash them and like take them away?
Sometimes she does, but if they're already, or I have black sunflower seeds that she likes too, and she'll just sit there next to me and just do her little thing.
No cage for her to bring her in the house and like have her as a pet?
No, the cats are going to eat her.
No snack for the cats? No,
Nope, but her name is Chiquita.
Now, we're both in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have hawks by you?
Yes.
So I'm assuming your cats don't get to go outdoors too often.
No, they don't. They have a leash and a harness, but I don't take them out too often because they do that stiff leg potato thing and fall over.
Yes. We have harness and leashes for our cats too. Yeah, I understand that.
I tried. There are the tuxedos go outside with me on the leash. I got to get the little fat one to go outside with me. His name's July, and we just call him Littles. He's the fattest one.
And have you had the hawk start to circle overhead, even if your cats are on leashes, or no?
No, we haven't had that experience.
Okay,
yet.
We did the other day, and you have to be careful because the lady we bought this house from actually lost a dog to a wolf. As it was raining one night, so she lets the dog outside to go pee, and a wolf snatched it up while she was watching it pee.
That's terrifying.
And the hawks get big, and they can lift cats. And we were outside one day with our cats, and the hawk started circling, and we were like, and we're going back inside.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
If I saw that, I'd be back inside real quick. We have a wildlife preserve that is not too far from here, like maybe like 3 blocks, literally, and coyotes and hawks and stuff like that. I saw a raccoon.
Coyotes, not wolf. Sorry, it was a coyote, not a wolf. Wolves are way big, but it was a coyote. But either way, it snatched a dog. But yes, sorry, did not mean to interrupt.
No, you're okay. No.
It's my ADD. Yeah. So your books, I'm going to bring us back. My segues are wonderful. I'm going to one day be famous for my inability to segue anything properly.
And I can just say I experienced that firsthand.
Yeah, it'll be great. It's funny because when you're writing, there are things that come more naturally to you when you write than when you're speaking. And then the editors, of course, help with everything too. But like, it's just like speaking. I'm like, segue, no, not going to happen. Your books, you have a third one coming out, which is, you say, a prequel.
Well, so it's like a collection of short stories, right? So I grabbed the books because you told me to.
Yes.
So this is volume 1. So there is an ongoing joke with myself and a couple other authors about this plain black cover. And then this is book 2. They are different sizes because I'm a troll. And that's what happens.
You are a troll. Why are they different trim sizes?
They are different. Yep, they're different sizes. So you can always find me on your shelf.
Oh my God.
I know, I'm awful.
You're a little chaos gremlin.
The next installment covers some of these questions that people wanted answered, like how did Hans and Senor meet? Why is this I can't say it because it'll spoil it. Why is this in the story? Or tell us more about the bartender in purgatory, or we want to know more about the demons and their backstories. So I was like, let me just give you a little bit more. And then you have some of those demons, you have some regular moments with just the Four Horsemen gang, and then you have a couple stories that are sort of like previews to what's going to happen in book 3 from characters in book 3.
Do you have, now because it's a prequel, you have Death Defiant 1 and 2, and then you have the prequel. Do you have another sequel planned or anything else then in this universe?
Yeah, just it's going to be the 4 books. So 1, 2, then I guess 2.5, which is the short story collection, and then volume 3, and that's going to be it.
And that's it.
I mean, as far as I'm aware, nothing else has come to me for this particular universe. I have had another story breathing down my neck, which is a completely different universe. Because why not? What happens? But nothing planned so far after book 3 for this one.
So I was on your Goodreads page, and I want to ask you about something that I think George R. R. Martin might be proud of. You have a book that was on another platform that you said you lost your mojo or inspiration or muse or whatever word you used, and it never got finished.
Yes.
But they can read up to the unfinished point.
Yes.
What's up with that?
I lost it. It stuck with me for a while, and then it just didn't stay, which is unusual for me. Because usually once I sort of have a story in my mind and like I think about it and I'll think about it and think about it, either it'll stay with me for a couple of days, and then I know it's like not going to leave me until I write it, or it just dissipates. Right. So usually it doesn't take months for it to dissipate. Usually once it's stuck around that long and I've started writing it, it stays. So that was really unusual. But I also, that platform has since closed down, so I'm not really quite as worried about that story anymore.
What platform was it?
It was Radish.
Radish. Okay.
It was digital, and I loved them. But yeah, they closed down in December.
And because it was on that platform, you're just not, it's overdone. Can people who want to read it, or is it not available anymore?
No, because Radish closed down, so it's not available.
You never put it up on anywhere else. Okay.
Nope.
But I saw that, and I had to ask about that because I know that it's different when you're writing it piece by piece and putting it out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it is.
It is.
Yeah.
And I liked the story and I liked the characters, but it was just where it was going and what, like, it just wasn't working. Just one of those things, like maybe one day I'll get back to it because I still have obviously what I've written so far.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't, I fell out of love with it. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do.
No, you're allowed to. You're allowed to leave your babies behind and abandon them. The fictional written ones, not real ones.
Yes, the real one is living with me.
He's in 6th grade. He better not be on his own.
I know he's going into 6th grade. I'm like, I'm old enough to have a kid that's going into middle school. Look at me go.
That's okay. I am old enough to biologically old enough to be a grandfather at 46. It kind of weirds me out a little bit.
No, I mean, yeah, I guess technically. I could be a grandmother.
Yeah, I mean, biologically,
I'm not too far behind you. Biologically, I could definitely be a grandma. Yeah,
I mean, biologically, a person only has to be about 26 in order to be a grandparent, but that touches on a lot of morally off issues.
Yeah,
to do that, but biologically speaking, but on the other note, though, you know what? I was thinking about this, and I don't know how old you are. I did not think you were close to my age.
I am.
I'm closer to 60 than I am to 20. And life, like everyone in their 20s always seems like they're having so much fun. And I seemed like I was having so much fun in my 20s. Life gets better. Life gets better as you get older, I think.
I do. I agree there. I think my 30s were a great time. I really enjoyed that decade.
Yes.
40s have been interesting, sort of a new, I don't know, like looking at the world through new lens. Like I'm half dead. I have less time left alive than, you know.
Well, technically true. I mean, it's still a pretty long time.
And I want to just like maximize that time and use that energy intentionally to be with people that I care about, to do things I want to do or things that speak to me, and not just burn it, you know?
I definitely understand, because I think I'm there on that with you. And I unfortunately think, and I don't know, maybe it's not unfortunately, maybe the younger generations have woken up, but I think like the younger generations feel it too, even though they
do
more time to live than they've lived already. I think they realize that the cycle of work that we were all ingrained to embrace, you know, work for 60 years, live 20 and die.
Yeah.
They're like, why? What's the point?
And that's exactly it. And part of it is because our generation is so loud about that was not cool, that is not how it should have been for us, that we don't like this. And I think that has to do with us being loud, with your Gen Xers and your millennials and your Xennials going, hey, this really didn't work out so well for us. Like, you know, and now people are traveling in their 70s and 80s, and I've said this for a long time, I think you should travel in your 20s. You get a great worldview. I got the opportunity to travel. I spent a semester abroad in Turkey and Greece in college, and you get a different worldview and you come back changed from that. Yeah. So now you've got these people that are in their 70s traveling, but they've already raised their kids and had their families. You aren't going to change anything for them, and they're not going. Then it's going to be not passed down to the next generation either. So like we talk about generational things. If you go and you explore first, and you have that opportunity to learn new things and change your worldview, that is going to be passed down to your family, to your children. Versus if you go when you're 70 or 80, it's too late. Yeah. You know what I mean? No, the experiences die with them. They start with them, they live with them, they die with them. There's nothing to teach at that point, because your kids have already grown up and are now teaching their warped versions of the things they were taught to their kids, instead of trying to broaden them. But I think that kind of view really can show where things in any country, not just ours, go wrong or become stagnant. Absolutely. And that's what it is, as we're being loud about it, so the next generations are listening. Yes. And they're changing. It's funny, because growing up, I was like, I never felt like Gen X was going to be the generation to change it, because we were just sitting there going, yeah, the world's going to burn and we'll sit and watch, because it's, you know, we've been ignored the whole time. So we're gonna get out our freaking sticks and roast some weenies and marshmallows. Yeah. Like, I honestly, there's a song by Dave Matthews called "When the World Ends," and it's basically about sitting back and like smoking a joint and having sex as the world around you burns. And I'm like, there's no other generation that could have written that song. That's what we lived through growing up in the 80s and 90s. Like, that was us. Yeah. And it was just horrible. I mean, I still don't. My husband's even asked me before. He likes to make fun of me. He's 4 years younger than me, so he likes to point out that when I was graduating like high school, he was starting high school. Great stuff. I know. Oh my God, where is I going with this? Shit, I just totally derailed. Generational gap in saving the world. Yes, we were saving the world. But he asked me all the time, he's like, how did you survive? Like, how are you alive with the shit that you got up to, with the like lack of supervision or just the parenting style back then? How did you survive and make it out to be a decent person? Well, not saying you're not a decent person. Like therapy. But decent is a very subjective term. Well, I've also said that too. I was like, I was not always this decent. I promise you, I was not this decent. Not always. No. I did some work. I did some work to be this decent. There was a time that I was not, but that was in my 20s. But well, that's the time. So that's the thing, though. Is like, yeah, take your 20s to travel, but take your 20s to do your stupid stuff, because you're young enough, you can recover from them. Like, I should have died probably a couple times. I think
all of us should have died at least a couple of times.
God.
But it's also that resilience of having to have been out all day. You get home from school, your schoolwork's done, cool, go leave. I'll call you when it's dark. We'll call you when the street lights kick on and stuff like that. And it's not something that's experienced nowadays because there's no place for them to play except in the streets, which is dangerous. Not that we didn't do it, but there are more cars on the street.
Well, you can't let them out of your sight anymore. Like, my mom's like, why are you so tired? I'm like, because even if Caleb goes and plays in the front yard, I still have to be right there with him because people snatch kids more than I don't want to say more, but there's more of a danger of it. It's more, you still got to be right there.
There's a bit of, there's more of it, but on the same note, there's only more of it because there's 4 billion more people on the planet than there were when we were growing up. So there's just more of those available. And on the same note, we're seeing it more because back then, before mass media, we only knew about the kidnapped kids by news stories and milk cartons. And for anyone listening who doesn't know what that means, back in the day on the cardboard milk cartons, there'd be a picture of a missing kid. And nowadays, a kid goes missing. A kid goes missing in Alabama, California, Saskatchewan. It's all over the news for everywhere. So we're seeing all of the reports come in instead of just the ones that were local to us. So it makes the world, I think, seem worse than it is.
Oh, absolutely.
And then therefore the paranoid parents make the parents who wouldn't be as paranoid have to be more paranoid because God forbid they let their kid play without supervision. They're all of a sudden a bad parent and getting CPS or DCFS or whatever it's called in the local jurisdiction called on them.
Like, there's a lot of parent shaming that happens. I've seen it. It blows my mind. Like, I used to be able to walk down my parents would just let me go down the road out the street. I think like 3 or 4 blocks down to the 7-Eleven and get a freaking Coke Slurpee all by myself. And I just sit on the curb. Nobody bothered me. But you can't do that now. You can't do that now. Because then people think you're a bad parent, but also then your kid is like a little hoodlum.
We were hoodlums though. And I think that's something
we were.
It's something Gen Xers have to, and the Zennials have to admit is we were hoodlums. We weren't bad. We weren't intentionally malicious or.
We just didn't give a shit.
We didn't.
At a very early age, we quit giving a shit. And then as we became adults, we quit giving a fuck.
Yeah.
So it was just a variation on a theme. And, that's the thing is, like, my kid would be fine to go do it. He's a responsible kid. He could go down to the gas station and get himself a Slurpee if he wanted. And that's fine. It's not him that I'm worried about. It's everybody else.
Yeah.
And
it is everybody else.
And all the creepos out there and stuff. And him getting hassled. And, at the end of the day, he can't, he's a 10-year-old kid. He's not going to be able to fight back against a full-grown adult. Not like he needs to.
No. And well, let's face it though, there's a lot of full-grown adults who can't fight back against full-grown adults because we just don't have and
that's the risk that it would take that's the risk I would be taking if I just let him go out like that. And as a mom, it's just like, oh, well, that's awful and that's scary. Right. And
I'm not saying anything negative about Florida, but let me say something negative about Florida. If I was still living where I grew up in the Chicagoland area, where I grew up is not a place I'd want to live anymore, but if I was still in that area, I would still let my kid at the ages I was doing things, do things. Mm-hmm. Florida is a monster unto itself.
It is.
And wild animals aside, that are very different than a lot of other states, the people are a different breed. And not necessarily bad by any means, you know what I'm saying? But like the ones that are, I think, are worse than elsewhere.
Right. We have some interesting people here. And the other thing too is Florida, especially with where we're at with the attractions being so close. Florida is one of the main human trafficking spots.
Yes. And
so that is also another concern. That's because of the attractions. And whenever we took him with us to the attractions when he was small, I had my eyes on him. And because I would tell my husband, I was like, they're looking for a parent who's not paying attention, who's on their phone.
Yeah.
I said, if I'm even looking like I am remotely involved, they're not going to touch him.
No.
But it's they're looking for that mom that has like 4 kids. The husband's not paying attention. She's on her phone and one of them toddles off. That's the kid that they're going to grab.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things that in my line of work we learned about. So that was, and this is back when back in Texas, we learned about some of the human trafficking stuff. I went to college in Texas. I'm from here, but I went to college in Texas, and we did some of the human trafficking stuff. And anywhere with like an attraction, like Disneyland, Disney World, and then in Texas, Dallas and Austin were also big places.
Well, I remember being in the airport in Colorado and seeing, and I guess Colorado's big in human trafficking for some reason. And I just remember seeing the signs in the airport. So you could see in MCO, which is the Orlando airport, for anyone who doesn't know airport names, code, whatever, that they have like the whole trafficking, like signs of being humanly trafficked, human signs of being trafficked, so you know what to look for in people and stuff. And it's just weird to see that. But yeah, I remember they were all over the place in Texas when I flew down, especially Brownsville.
Yep. Anywhere you have a lot of tourists generally. So like the snowbirds for here, but also the theme parks, but also like people going to go skiing up in like Denver and stuff like that. There's a lot of people going there. So anywhere where there's a lot of tourists is generally great pickings for that kind of thing for them, unfortunately. Yeah.
So stay safe, people. Stay safe. Yes, keep your family safe. Keep yourself safe.
We're doing great. We're doing great here, Nick.
So far off topic, but I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun. Jesus,
I'm not even surprised that this has happened. This is how it usually goes with me.
I'm like,
we just start like spiraling, and then the next thing you know, it's like 3 hours later, we're like, oh shit.
Are you diagnosed ADD? I'm not, but people tell me I have it.
I am. I don't take anything because I keep it mostly under control, but I also am a critical care nurse. So it's like my superpower because I have to ping pong from thing to thing.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly like having mental gymnastics, which is great if you have ADD. Like mental gymnastics is the thing. So I'm not medicated for it because it actually enhances my ability to work very well.
And anybody who's listening to this can tell we're not medicated for it. And it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. My doctor actually put me on. Let me grab it for you.
We're going to have a medical lesson here, folks, real quick. This is how we're ending this episode. Yeah, is with medicine.
She recommended this, and it does help on those times where like it's too much chatter in my brain.
Okay.
It is.
It's called Full Focus by Neurobiologics. Biologics. Okay. And what's the ingredients in it? Like the active ingredients?
Niacin, magnesium, coffee bean, L-tyrosine, L-taurine, trimethylglycerine, L-methionine. And I need glasses as well, apparently. Bacopa extract. So it's all natural stuff. But it helps calm down. Another pro tip, and this is just what I've learned in my nursing career, is also caffeine helps with undiagnosed ADD. So caffeine will help you. So if you start having like the racing thoughts, because caffeine acts as a stimulant, it helps with that part of it because the ADHD meds are speed.
Yes, and actually the amphetamines will help calm people who have ADD.
Yep. So that's why caffeine works for them too at a much lower dose and a lower strength. But one of my friends, her daughter had ADD and she was trying to avoid medication because the kiddo was so young. So I suggested some like caffeinated tea or like sweet tea in her lunches so she could have it in the afternoon to kind of get her through the afternoon because that's when she was starting to have trouble. And it worked for a while. It helped her for a while until it didn't. And it got, to the point where she did need medication.
Yeah.
How many of us were ADD back in the damn 80s? And
everyone was.
Right. And we're just great at coping. And now it's just all hanging out there because our fucks are gone. Here it is.
I mean, if caffeine doesn't work, cocaine is also something that will calm you down on ADD. However, nobody recommends taking that because it didn't work so well for some people.
It did
Pretty
not.
much
I
anyone who
cannot
takes it.
medically recommend the cocaine
Yeah,
for y'all.
no. But any sort of methamphetamine will actually help calm you down.
Yeah,
But stick with the caffeine or prescribed drugs because drugs are bad. Okay,
drugs are bad unless they're
don't do
prescribed.
drugs unless they're prescribed. Then you have to take them as prescribed. You can't just take them whenever you want.
Conveniently.
Yeah, can't just do that.
No, I always remember, I will never forget in college, like we had, and kids don't do this. We had a friend that had ADHD and had Adderall, right? Back when that was like the thing. And we would always bump some off him to stay up late studying for exams and stuff. And I always wondered why I'd go that fuck to sleep.
Because you have ADD.
Because it knocked me out.
Yeah.
But I got amazing sleep the night before an exam and I usually did fine. But all my friends were like staying up all late and they're like, man, you were like passed out by like 2 a.m. And I'm just like, but why? I took the Adderall too. There
because
it is.
you have ADD and that's how that happens.
Yeah.
So folks, if you drink caffeine and don't get hyper, you might want to talk to a doctor.
Yeah.
But no. So, okay.
There's your tagline.
There's that. Drugs are bad. Get tested for ADD. So we have to wrap things up, but I have to know, because people who are listening want to start looking you up. Where can we find you? Give us your shameless self-promotion, all your social medias, websites, all that jazz.
Woo. All right. So you can find me on Instagram and Threads. My name on there is Charlotte's Chaos Corner. So Charlotte, like the city, and then Chaos Corner, all with C's. TikTok, it's Charlotte Chaos Author, but I'm not on there as much. And I do have a Facebook group called Charlotte's Chaos Corner as well that you can ask to join. But
where can we buy your books?
And Insta.
Where can we buy your books?
You can buy my books directly from me. So if you would like some, you can slide into my DMs because that way you get a signed copy with some swag.
You can fully slide into her DMs, gentlemen. She is married.
Only slide in for the books. I write white shoes. It is a white shoes, but I already have a white shoes going on with my husband and the cat, so I can't take any more men at this point. I already have all the needy men of my life that I need. You can get them on Amazon, and then they are on Kindle Unlimited as well. So I actually they're at the New York Public Library too. I found out, like, who knew?
All 14 million people in New York, you heard it here. Go to the New York Public Library, pick them up.
They are there. They are there. I don't know how, who, what, why, but I'm not going to complain. You can also get them at a lot of local bookstores here in Central Florida. Spellbound, The New Romantics, Black Rose Bookshop, Story Room Collective, a bunch of stores in Central Florida have them.
There you have it, folks. Check her out. Follow her on Instagram and Threads. I couldn't think of Threads for a moment. She's on TikTok, not as much. I understand. I'm not on it at all anymore unless I have to be.
I just watch cat videos.
That's the best part of any social media is the cat videos. Do you show your cats the cat videos?
Yes, I have.
Do they care, or are they like my cats and they're like, why are you showing me this?
It depends on what the cat's doing, because there's some that, like, if they're making certain noises, they'll pay attention. Otherwise, they just kind of look at me like I'm stupid.
I think cats think we're stupid. I honestly think cats look at humans and go, they're fucking dumb.
I mean, they have us cleaning their litter boxes.
They do. They do. They have. I honestly think cats are much smarter than us. We could never just poop on the floor and have a cat clean it up. They just wait until we did it.
Did you know that they meow? They meow because humans respond to that. So they're training us to respond to their meows, because in the wild, they don't meow at each other that much.
They say that they don't meow at each other, but I like that you had the disclaimer of that much, because I've heard our cats meow at each other, but they actually meow to mimic the sound of crying babies.
Yes. Because
if you ever hear bobcats in the wild, and you can look it up on like YouTube and everything like that, if you listen to lynxes or bobcats meows, it's horrendously not cute or adorable. And it's quite kind of hysterical, but that's how they naturally sound. And then cats mimic what we find to be adorable. Yeah.
They do. And then they learn. And then if you talk back to them, like I will have a pistachio who is sleeping right there. I will have a whole ass conversation with him.
Yeah.
I have one of them chirps at me in the morning and leads me to his food bowl, like to show me where it is. Like, I don't know.
In case you forgot, he's starving because he can see the bottom of his bowl. Yeah.
Correct. And we have a whole ritual. I have to pour water into the water fountain, everything like that. They talk to us, and Pistachio is one of the loudest talkers that we have in the house, but he is into everything. And sometimes it sounds like he's saying no.
That'll happen. Look up the videos of cats barking. That gets very interesting.
Oh,
because they can bark just like dogs if they want to.
See, that's it. They're smarter than us. They are.
Yeah.
We pet them, we feed them. They get to sit here all day and we scoop their shit. Although we did just get an automatic litter box that is the best thing ever. It's cut down on the smell. It runs by itself. It has a separate compartment for the turds. It's so great.
We use pine litter because it's one of the only cat litters that we found that our cats will use willingly. So we use pine, and our cats are so skittish. There's no way we could have a mechanical thing clean out their box. They would never use it at all. They're scared they don't like the dustpan and the broom, let alone a vacuum. There's no way a mechanical thing is going.
We had one that was scared of it for the first couple of days, and he was going on the floor, which was really fantastic in the house. But hurrah, today he pooped in it. So
respect. Small victories.
We were like, good job, dude.
Small victories. Oh my God. We do have to wrap it up. I want to thank you so much.
Spiraling out about cat shit now.
I want to thank you so much, Charlie Chaos, for being here with us. For everyone who's joined in and listening, thank you so much. This is Drinking with Authors. Follow us, follow her, like, share, make us all famous. If you're a sponsor, hey, we need money. But until next time, remember, it costs nothing to be kind. So, be kind. It's free. Charlotte.
Thank you for listening to Drinking with Authors. Join us next time for another fun conversation with an author over drinks.